Hello students, I am Ranjit sir from English Guru. Hope you are doing well and enjoying learning sitting at home during this lockdown caused by corona pandemic. I am here before you to continue the discussion about the story The Shoemaker written by Dickens before French Revolution. This is the third and final episode of the story. I would like to summarize the previous episode briefly before advancing towards the story today. In the last episode of the story, we came to know that Defarge was not the only visitor came to meet the shoemaker, but also Mr. Lorry and Lucy. Mr. Lorry was his old friend while Lucy was his daughter. But the shoemaker showed no interest and concern to see them, rather, he stayed cool and absorbed in his own thoughts. When the shoemaker was asked, he described the shoe as a young lady's walking shoe. Its pattern, its design was original, not a copy. Further, the shoemaker told his name 105 North. This was actually given to him in prison. The shoemaking was not his trade. He was a doctor and his name was Monsieur Manette. But he had forgotten all his identities, having spent long 18 years in a prison. Mr. Lorry tried hard to make him recall his identity. For this, he gave him some clues so that he can recognize himself, his daughter, and the two visitors. Will he succeed to do so? Will he and his daughter reunite and live together? To get this suspense revealed, watch this story till end. Now let's continue the story. When Laurie asked the shoemaker, whose name is Monsieur Manette, about Defarge, if he remembered anything of him, this is the point where we left yesterday the story. Now we start the story. As the shoemaker sat looking fixedly by turns at Mr. Lorry and Defarge, some long, obliterated marks of an actively intent intelligence in the middle of the forehead gradually forced themselves through the black mist that had fallen on him. They were overclouded again, they were fainter, they were gone, but there had been there. Here, the author Charles Dickens says that the shoemaker sat and looked fixedly by turns. By turns means, do you know the meaning of it? One after the other. One after the other. By turns, one after the other. Next word is obliterated. Obliterated, do you know the meaning of it? Obliterated means destroyed, vanished. Destroyed, vanished, or disappeared. Now the word is actively. Actively means in a deliberate and positive way. Positive way. Positive way. In a positive way or in a deliberate way. Next word is mist. Next word is mist. Mist means it's a fog. And another overclouded. Overclouded means dark and gloomy or gloomy. This is the meaning of the word overclouded. Dark and gloomy. So in this paragraph, the author says that the shoemaker sat and looked fixedly by turns at Mr. Lorry and Defarge. Means, uh, first moment he looked at Mr. Lorry, then second moment he looked at the Defarge. There were some long disappeared marks, disappeared or destroyed, obliterated marks were in the middle of his forehead. Those marks were of intense intelligence, means they were showing how much and how long the shoemaker had suffered in his life. Those marks became sometimes dark and visible, sometimes faint, sometimes totally gone. But in fact, the marks were present on his forehead. Now move to the another line. And so exactly was the expression repeated on the fair young face of her who had crept along the wall to a point where she could see him and where she now stood looking at him. Here you know fair young face. Who was she? She was Lucy. Crept. Do you know the word creep? Moved slowly and silently so that nobody can see you. And another word is frightened. Okay, looking at him. So here, what was appearing on his father's face, that was the same thing, same expression were coming and going, fading in and fading out repeatedly on the fair young face, and that is Lucy's face. By this time, the young lady, being not noticed by anyone, had come to the point where she could see her father and stood looking at him. At now at him with his hands, which at first had been only raised in frightened companion, if not even to keep him off and shut out the sight of him, but which were now extending towards him, trembling with eagerness to hold his face and love it back to life and hope. So exactly was the expression repeated on her face. Keep keep off. Keep off means stay at distance. Eagerness Eagerness means you are restless, you want to know something very quickly. In this sentence, with hands which at first, her hands raised in fearful pity. Compassion means pity for someone who is suffering, and frightened means fearful. Okay. So at first her hands raised in fearful pity and extended her hands towards him. She could not keep him off and out of its sight. Her hands were trembling with desire to hold his face and love it back to life and hope. And that was exactly what the expression was on her face, coming repeatedly. Darkness had fallen on him in its place. He looked at the two less and less attentively, and his eyes in gloomy abstraction sought the ground and looked about him in the old way. Finally, with a deep long sigh, he resumed his work. It was getting evening at this place, and darkness was fallen on him. It means things were getting less visible. The shoemaker looked at the two men with less attention. He was not looking at them with great attention, and his eyes in gloomy abstraction. You know, gloomy. Gloomy means sad and unpleasant. Sad and unpleasant. Unpleasant and abstraction. It's a state of being uh, lost in thought. A state of being, a state of being lost in thought. In thought. This is the meaning of the word. Now let me clear the screen. So, and his eyes in gloomy abstraction. South here is also another word. South. South means seek. It is the past tense of seek. Seek means to discover. Seek means to discover. So here his eyes means the eyes of the shoemaker were gloomy in a gloomy abstraction. It means her eyes was very sad. It was his eyes were looking very sad and hopeless, and it seemed like those eyes were lost in some thought, and being in that state, those eyes were stuck with the ground and looked about him in the old way, and looked here and there, looked around the man in the old ways. Old way means once he had been looking. Finally, with a deep sigh, long sigh, he resumed his work. And finally, after getting recovered from his thought, from his deep thought, he took a deep long sigh and again restarted. Resume means restart. Restarted his work. Have you recognized him? Monsieur asked Defarge in a whisper, in a very low voice, very slowly. Whisper means to say something in the ear so nobody can hear. So, in a very low voice, Defarge asked the shoemaker if he had recognized him. Recognized him means who is him here? Him here is the Lorry. Mr. Lorry. Mr. Lorry. Him means Mr. Lorry. Yes, for a moment. At first, I thought it's quite hopeless, but I have unquestionably seen for a single moment the face that I once knew so well. The shoemaker accepted that yes, for a moment, he knew the man. He recognized the man. At first, means in the beginning, he was hopeless and he was not able to recognize who the Mr. Lorry was. But undoubtedly, for a single minute, he had recognized him, that who he was, and the face, he had recognized the face that once he had seen in his life. And this happened only for a moment. Hush, let us draw further back. Hush. Let draw back. Draw back. Drawback means choose not to do something that one was expected to do. That is the meaning of draw back. Hush. Hush, it's a exclamatory word which means silence. Silence. Okay? Now the shoemaker said to be quiet. He said to be silent and said that let it go, don't move back to the past. He didn't want it to go back to recall his past memories. So he said, "Let it go." She had moved from the wall of the garret, very near to the bench on which he sat. Now Lucy moved from the wall of the attic. Garret means attic. Attic, it's a storeroom. Attic, and it was very near to the bench on which her father was sitting. There was something, one minute. There was something awful in his unconsciousness of the figure that could have put out its hand and touched him as he stooped over his labor. Stooped, bent. Awful. You know awful? Awful means very bad and unpleasant. Awful means very, very bad and unpleasant. Unpleasant. So the figure here, figure is used for his father. It means the shoemaker. So there was something unpleasant, there was something very bad in his unconsciousness, and that could have put his hand away and touched him as he bent over his labor, as he started his work on shoe. It happened at length that he had the occasion to change the instruments in his hand for his shoemaker's knife. There was a knife beside the shoemaker's side, by the side of the shoemaker, there was a knife, and it happened after some time. At length means after long time. After long time. After long time. So after a long time, what happened there? That he had the occasion, he had the chance, he has the chance to take the instrument from his to take the instrument in his hand, and it can be changed. It means there was a tool in his hand. There was a tool in his hand, and they can change it with the knife. And knife was laying by the side of him. It lay on the side of him, which was not the side on which she stood, and that knife was not on the side where Lucy was standing. He had taken it up and was stooping to work again, and the shoemaker took the knife and started working again. When his eyes caught the skirt of her dress, when he saw the skirt of her dress, he raised them. The shoemaker raised her daughter's skirt and saw her face, and then look at her face. The two spectators means Mr. Lorry and Defarge. These are the two spectators. The two spectators moved forward. When the shoemaker took up the knife in his hand, Mr. Lorry and Defarge moved ahead, but she stayed them with motion of her hand. But he just waved his hand towards them and stopped them there. She had no fear of his striking at her with knife, though they had. Lucy had no fear of being struck with the knife. But the two spectators, the two men, the two visitors had the fear that the shoemaker could strike her with the knife. He started at her with a fearful look. He stared at her with a fearful look. Now the father, the shoemaker, looked at her daughter with a fearful look, and after a while his lips began to form some words, and he just tried to say something, and his lips were trembling, his lips were trying hard to say something, but there was no sound. Though no sound proceeded from them, but there came no sound from his lips. By degrees, in the pauses of his quick and labored breathing, he was heard to say. And then there was a quick pause, and he was taking breath with some labor. And then they heard, "What is this?" It means the shoemaker heard someone asked, "What is this?" Her daughter asked her, "What is this?" having tears rolled down from her face. It means tears were rolling down, streaming down. Streaming down means rolling down. Rolling down means coming down. Rolling down her face. She put her two hands to her lips, and then she put her two hands to her lips and kissed them too. "You are not the gaoler's daughter?" her father asked. And what he asked? He asked, "You are not the gaoler's daughter?" She sighed. No, she was not gaoler's daughter. "Then who are you?" her father asked. "Who are you?" Not a trusting the tones of her voice, he sat down on the bench beside him. He recoiled, but she laid her hand upon his arm. A strange thrill struck him when she did so. The visibly passed over his frame. Not yet trusting the tones of her voice, she sat on the bench beside him. Even he was not trusting on his voice, the tone of his voice. Here there is a mistake, printing mistake, and this is her. Here will be his. So he was not believing what her father asked. He was not believing. He was not believing the tone of his voice. Despite of that, she sat on the bench beside him. But she decided to sit down on the bench beside him. He recoiled, but she did laid her hand upon his arm. As his daughter sat down beside him, he recoiled, moved away his body from there. But she laid her hand upon his arm. But she placed her hand upon his arm. A strange thrill struck him when she did so. A strange thrill. She felt when he felt a strange thrill through his blood when she touched his hand, and visibly passed over his frame, and that feeling was appeared on his face and again disappeared. He laid the knife down softly. and then slowly he kept the knife on the ground as he sat staring at her, and even he was staring at her, looking at her carefully, advancing his hand little by little, and slowly he advanced his hand towards her daughter. He took it up. He took it up and looked at it, and then he took her hand and looked at it. In the midst of the action, he went astray and, with another deep sigh, fell to work at his shoemaking. This is missed man. Missed means middle. Middle. And astray. Astray means lost in thought. Lost in a thought. In the middle of the action, when he was taking her hand and looking at her, he again lost in his thought, in a thought. He was not aware with the present time. He was not aware what was going at present, and took a deep sigh and again fell to work at his shoemaking, and again he started working on shoe. So this was the whole story, and it was very interesting story taken from A Tale of Two Cities written by Charles Dickens. So here we found that the shoemaker didn't overcome from the pain of isolation, the pain of being disassociated with the society. So this is all for today. I hope you enjoyed the video, you enjoyed the story. If you like it, then you share it, like it, and comment on it. If you give your comment, I will be happy, and it will inspire me to make more videos for you. Thank you so much.